He's fashionable.
Hello and welcome to another episode of One Fall WrestleCast. Hey, guess what? Derek's not here. I mean, he might show up. Who knows? At this point, but anyways, we got a pretty full show. We want to talk about a couple of things. Crown Jewel happened this weekend. Glorified house show or premium live event? We shall debate. Also, is MJF really leaving AEW for the WWE? We think so, and we're going to discuss that. Plus, a bunch of other fun little factoids that we've got lined up. So, yeah, we're going to just hop into it.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
What's up, bud?
Not much.
Hey, so I see your moniker today is Jeffrey Penis. Have you seen that picture of Dolph Ziggler post WWE release?
No, I've not.
Jacked.
I mean, really?
Properly jocked, my friend. Goodness gracious.
He must have taken it harder than we thought.
I mean, maybe he just had some good lighting, but my man looked like a fucking $1 trillion. You know what I mean?
Hey, I mean, maybe he's there. He is.
Speaking of $1 trillion, Jesus
That's
Christ!
Right.
At this point, you have to just do this on purpose now. Be like, all right, it's 8:33. I'm gonna hop on.
Yeah, he texted me fucking like 20 minutes.
I was just
ago.
waiting for the exact moment.
He's like, we on time today, or you got to take a poop, bitch. It's like, bro, for real, like.
He just does it on purpose now.
Now it's
you know what I'm gonna buy Derek for Christmas?
A watch?
Yes.
But a watch that you could talk to him through?
Like a proper watch.
And make it go over the horizon, over the horizon. That's one of the wake-up
Hi,
sounds.
fellas.
What's up, dude?
I don't know. My computer's doing wonky things. Go away.
Oh yeah, kind of like last week whenever you just fucking walked out the door and then never came back. You know, I
that would have been my daughter.
You know, I almost like closed the show but didn't end the live stream and just was gonna leave your singular window up all night long.
Like
just
you
see
shut
random
off all
people
the
come
lights.
in and change
shut off
babies and stuff.
The computer? All the lights got shut off.
I figured
I
figured I bullied you and you were just like, fuck it, I'm out.
No. I don't know if you guys saw Sid came in and
I did. I was the one that pointed to Sid coming in. So
I took her to bed and then accidentally also took myself to bed while because I lay down with her and
stunned.
Yeah.
Maybe
I was in bed. I was in a bedtime type of mood, I guess.
So you were a bitch in 3 languages last week.
Yeah, how did that even happen?
I don't know.
4? Yeah, we forgot
easy.
he's
She
a
cuddles
bitch in
so
German
good.
too.
I am.
Jiminy
cuddles so good.
Hey, so anyways, Derek, before you so really interrupted, Tom and I's conversation, we were talking about Jeffrey Penis and how he looks properly jocked in this picture that has leaked on the internet. You clearly have not seen it either. But my question with that is I'm gonna try to find it.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared to Google that.
Don't Google Jeffrey.
My question for you guys about Dolph Ziggler is, where do we think he's going to wind up? What do we think that looks like? I know a couple of weeks ago, Tom and I talked about him possibly coming back as maybe a producer for WWE or something along those lines. But this tells me otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say odds are he'll probably be on the CW channel on NWA doing cocaine with the Sinister Minister.
So that's where.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that actually. That's actually better. That's actually better booking than I had in my head. Truthfully, if I'm being honest with you.
I mean, that's probably how he got so jacked. You know, he just doesn't.
I mean, I would just he just does cocaine and lifts weights now. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
It's a good way to
It's
get
gotta be
shredded.
like this. No, I mean,
Cocaine shredded.
I'm sure everybody is just expecting me to be like, "Oh, come to AEW," but you know, as
I don't
we've
think there's a
seen,
place for him in AEW.
I don't think that we need any more WWE stars in AEW. I think we really need to just continue focusing on our, or you know, building their own people other than Sheeta, because Sheeta has given us the shittiest matches.
Let's not build Sheeta anymore.
Good Lord, please
She's
stop.
still the women's champ though. I don't know how she's like the three-time. She's their most like prolific women's champion, despite actually having at least two of the three worst. Two of her three title reigns were just dog shit. Her first one was
It's so
actually pretty
bad.
good. Her first one was
So
at
bad.
least good in relation to what was around her, but like the last two have been bad and like have been almost. It's like, oh, she has the title, and like you see her occasionally, but like it's so hard to be a champion and not speak fluent English. I think that's really
Yeah, I mean that doesn't help.
I think that's really the lesson we've learned from Hikaru Shida is that it's almost impossible to be a good champion of any in any capacity and not have not speak fluent English and not have. I mean, I guess unless you're Asuka, but Shida's clearly not Asuka. Like nobody's Asuka.
Nobody's ready for Asuka.
Well, not Shida ain't ready. For
And her
Asuka.
matches don't speak well either. I mean, if she could speak
That
through her,
too.
you know, her
Yeah.
wrestling, her art, her craft, then you know, sure, we're maybe in a different
You
place.
mean if she was one of the best women's wrestlers of all time? She's not even like
that would be helpful.
she's not really even like a top 10 women's wrestler on the AEW roster, and their women's roster ain't that great. So
No, it's bad. It's
Yeah.
very bad.
Well, I mean, she's clearly
can't.
top 10 because she's the world champion, bro. Like,
not in my opinion, though.
I mean,
She
I
may
would
be
put-
top 10 in Kenny Omega's book, but
Yeah,
not the rest of
there
America's
we go.
hearts.
There we go. In Kenny Omega's book, but not in my heart. Not in my
bro,
heart.
you just can't get off that Kenny Omega thing, can you?
I mean, he's the one that books it. It was
He does.
confirmed.
It's his
Signed-
girlfriend,
it's
fiance.
it's
I
not
mean,
even-
allegedly.
It's not allegedly. It's not debatable. It's true.
Meltzer said so.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Listen, I can't
I like your
find
shirt, Tom.
this. I wish I could find this. My man fucking
Looking like $1 million. Ripped like Jesus.
yeah, I can't find it. Can't find it. Properly jocked.
Did you properly Google?
I did properly Google, and I let you guys properly stall while I properly failed.
We did our best.
Which is
I got no regrets.
properly fine. I mean, you
No
know,
No
so-
regrets.
no regretskis. Yeah. As Derek complimented your shirt and you know sold it.
He did. He no sold the fuck out of me. I see how it is.
Yeah,
I show
yeah,
up 2 minutes late,
he-
perfectly on Derek time, and get no respect skis out of him.
No respect skis.
No respect, Steve.
No respect skis.
Terrible.
No regret skis.
No regrets, Keith.
Hey, so I saw this fun little thing on the internet, and I thought it would be fun for us to discuss as a collaborative conversation.
I'm listening.
I mean, are you?
Collaboratively, yes.
Like, I'm over here, like, trying to, like,
We are
run a show.
collaboratively intrigued.
Okay. Collaboratively fucking pay attention. All right? How about
I
that?
am. I heard every word you said.
Wow,
So I saw this
so
little thing
hostile
on-
today. What did you do before I got here, Tom?
I saw this little thing on the old interweb portal thing that we
Oh, sorry, that was
exist-
mine.
we exist within, right? No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. Wait, did you think that I almost let it slide under the radar, but I couldn't give you the the dissatisfaction of not getting to chuckle because I caught it. But the look on his face tells me he just went right. So that's what you're laughing at.
No, my
because-
internet's taking a giant shit. So I was like, oh God. And
He has no
I
idea
started
what
swirling.
I said.
You started
It's okay.
swirling. You're
Oh,
like
man,
chopping. Yeah, I've
Tozawa's
got no
about to
idea.
get killed. I don't care that Otis is outside. Tozawa's about to die.
So
Although I
this
do like
fun-
that Tozawa's getting time. Go ahead. Sorry. What's your thing?
So it was brought to my attention that Jeff Hardy had kind of implied that his fateful end of his WWE career, he had kind of pitched for a solo Willow run, and he wanted it to be presented similar to how Bray Wyatt and The Fiend had been presented. And when I saw this, I thought that this was a cute little thing for us to kind of fantasy book or maybe discuss a little bit. No.
No.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, maybe don't chug a liter of Fireball before you go take a.
He was already
Doctor.
working for Cocaine Tony at this point, so
I think he was too. Yeah.
How would this even work? Like, wasn't it a big portion of the Willow character due to broken Matt and whatnot?
Yeah.
Or
That was the whole.
and Matt
Brother
was
Nero!
not indeed broken at this point.
I knew you'd come.
What the fuck? Who makes this? Who reported this? Because this
Look,
just doesn't even make sense.
no,
with the
Jeff Hardy
timeline.
said it on the internet.
Jeff Hardy said
Oh,
it.
he
and,
said
like,
it himself.
Yeah, and people were just chatting about it, so I thought it would be fun for us to chat about. Do
I
you think that Willow
see.
could have had the kind
So
of
he's
legs,
pulling a Hulk
even
Hogan.
as a standalone? Like I don't want us to get focused on the wrong piece of this, like that. You know, he is an iteration from the Broken Universe and this, that, and the third. Like, we don't need to get hung up on that. Let's just look at Willow as a character as opposed to The Fiend as a character. No.
I mean, there's no depth to Willow. Willow was like this static sort of wraith-like entity, whereas
Do you think that that's because Broken Matt Hardy was so much more than at that point in time? Like,
I mean,
maybe,
it was all vignettes, though, too. That's the other part. Is that I mean, I guess he would have wanted to do vignettes of him solo as Willow doing the woo, woo, that shit. But I don't know. I don't think. I agree with you, Walt, that it would have been. It was. It had no legs. It would have not gotten over at all, especially without Matt. Because, correct me if Willow didn't talk, right? There wasn't a lot of. I mean, Jeff Hardy didn't talk a lot, but
I didn't recall Willow having very many speaking parts. I mean, I know that he, did some. And he did some cackles and some laughs and some.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Weird shit.
A lot of masks.
Yeah. So
Twirled an umbrella
it was
from time to
spooky and
time.
neat, but it was.
Yeah,
it
did
was
twirl an umbrella
wasn't-
from time to time.
Yeah. It wasn't much more than a Halloween costume, though. If I'm remembering correctly. I mean,
It's not great. I mean, but let's put the TNA or the Impact Wrestling piece of that aside, okay?
Okay.
With
All
a
right.
proper WWE costume department behind this creative, right?
Fair.
I've got to feel like we can elevate the look so that it's not a Halloween costume from the Dollar General. Okay, so like let's just put that reality to the side and let's focus on WWE Creative Services has booked this character. Okay, could Jeff Hardy had been creatively sound enough to pull this character off in WWE full scale?
No, not at that point in time.
You really you don't think so? I mean, I know I say no, but
no, and here I'm going to tell you why. Because Jeff was not in his right mind at the time, and
he was totally tober during that point in time.
Totally tober, exactly. Yeah, he didn't just wander off and get canned like right around this time either. No, he was. Look, one, it doesn't have the legs that he thinks it had. Jeff Hardy never really had the legs to be. it would have worked in a similar way that like a lot of other spooky characters that weren't the Undertaker worked. Like who was the guy that wore all white with the
Mordecai.
cross? Mordecai. It would have fallen like that. It would have felt like that. Unless somehow, I mean, maybe if you got Bruce Pritchard to put on the Brother Love suit and make his face red and be the manager, maybe it would have had legs for a couple of months.
I feel like
I don't like you, but I love you.
Yes, there's only so much room for these spooky characters, though, and we've already had that, and you're just going to take away any sort of interest we would have had.
Tom's onto something here, Brother Nero.
No,
tell him about the Book of Love. Yeah, Tom's onto something here, bro.
I mean, maybe that would have got over for like a month. Like that's the only thing I can think of, you know, because I mean, Jeff's not a talker, and I think that's the difference is that like, you know, he compared it to Bray Wyatt, right? But Bray could talk. I mean, if Bray could do anything, Bray could talk, right? Like if you know, sometimes it was rambling, incoherent nonsense, but like he talked with like this feeling and this like you believed what he said, even though you didn't understand it because it was fucking nonsense. But like you believed what he said.
Yeah, he was feeling something.
Jeff does not have that kind of delivery. So
no, but Matt sure did though.
Well, if you remember that Matt showing up and telling everybody that this party needs a magnitude adjustment. I don't know. That was, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, maybe if they'd have brought Matt back and let Matt be his, you know, do
but he was already in AEW at this point
Matt
in time.
Matt was already he could already
he's in Jeff's ear going, hey man, this fucking place is the wild fucking west. You can come down here.
They let me teleport. I can teleport here.
Come down here. Okay, we can do whatever the fuck we want. Nobody's paying attention to a goddamn thing any of us are doing.
That's
they come out. I was like, hey, I'm gonna teleport from the stands into the ring. Is that cool? Yeah, we'll totally shoot it. Like, dude, they let me fucking teleport. I can't believe it.
And that only worked because it was in the middle of the pandemic.
Right. I'm just saying he had the power to teleport. Like
the COVID gave him superpowers.
He could teleport one time. Then we never talked about it again.
And then, because 2 weeks later he was Big Money Matt, and
that's right, he was Big Money Matt.
I mean, they really fucked up that show, having him and the Exalted One, Mr. Brody Lee, both debut at the same time. That was a fumble, almost as big of a fumble as Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson debuting on the same show.
Yeah. Man, and you want to talk about two guys that haven't been able to put a string of 10 matches together without breaking orbital bones or ankles or fucking concussions. Good Lord. And broken arm.
I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Like, is it his vegan lifestyle? Does he just need some red meat in his life?
Bones just brittle? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm guessing. Like,
maybe he's got osteoporosis. Because he's not getting enough. He's not getting enough of that dairy, you know. That
vitamin D, or
he clearly must have.
Does she got the diabetes, or what is wrong
with you?
Stop breaking bones.
Yeah, every third match something snaps. I'm not like it's not a like. I realized they were like it's like everybody's like, oh, it was a fluke accident. Is it a fluke accident or is it osteoporosis? Because Jesus Christ, man. Like, if it happens again, that's osteoporosis confirmed. Next, he's going to break a goddamn hip. That's what's coming next. He's going to come back with that Undertaker mask on to cover the orbital bone so he can wrestle, but he's going to have a weird, like, Undertaker-esque mask, and then he's going to, like, break a hip.
And then start walking like Matt Hardy, and then we're all downhill from there. You don't want that. You don't want to start walking like Matt Hardy.
Somehow Matt
Hey,
Hardy.
listen. I had to
does that
walk
leg
like
drop.
Matt Hardy for a couple of weeks, man. I don't know what was going on with my hip, but like, he just like kind of rolls it out there, kind of
Yeah.
peg leg rolls it out there. I had to do that for like a week, man. Oof. Could you imagine
like
having
Hank
to
Hill's
do that all
dad.
the fucking time? Huh? Like it get caught. Hey, so here's another
that's
fun
good.
one. So we're all in agreement that Willow is not equal to or greater than the Fiend, right? Like
No.
I think
No, it's
we
an
can
insult to
put
even
that
suggest such things.
Willow would have been 1/10 at best of what the Fiend was.
So
Yeah.
we're kind of saying that we were content to not see it at all then.
Oh yeah, it's fine. I'm good with not
Sure.
seeing it.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's fine.
Just so we're all in agreement on that presentation.
Yeah, no,
before I move on.
there was no reason for anybody to see that. He could have pitched that to Vince. He could have pitched that to Triple H, and they would have been like, "I'm good. We're good."
I'm sure
now."
Vince was like, I'm good. I mean,
Yeah.
that's primetime Vince whenever, the product was thriving and just not complacent and not stale at all.
Right.
Like he tried to imply a couple of weeks ago, right before he was removed from creative power. Anyways, moving on. So one of these things, and we kind of had a little sidebar conversation about this in the group chat, and I thought that it would be a good little thing for us to discuss here, in person. And the question was, it was a survey on YouTube for another channel,
I shared this.
Wrestling Anarchist, okay? And it says, who's the greatest wrestler based on their in-ring work? The choices: Ric Flair, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, and Bret Hart. Okay, so Tom screenshots this, sends it to us with his vote selected. Okay, so Derek, out of those four, who is your choice for the greatest wrestler based on in-ring work? Don't tell me why yet. Just tell me who it was. Bret Hart, Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, Ric Flair.
In ring work.
Yes.
Kurt Angle.
So that was also Tom's answer, right? I, however, share a different opinion, and mine goes to the excellence of execution. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Single-handedly, Bret the Hitman Hart. Okay. Now listen.
So we can all but before we move on, we can all agree that the only two real names within that conversation are Kurt Angle and Bret Hart, right? Like the other two guys, good and great, and as far as marquee guys, great guys.
Oh, both legends for sure. But I never looked at Ric Flair as a great in-ring worker.
No,
he
was a fantastic showman, but he was not
he could get the job done inside the ropes, but he's not the best worker on that list. Not a fucking chance.
Not at all. And we've seen Brock Lesnar put on plenty of stinkers. I don't think the same could be said for Bret or Kurt. I don't think
Brock Lesnar is an experience, right? Like it's not. Right. He's not a promo. He's not an in-ring worker. He's a presence. He's an experience. He's an attraction. So for him to even be considered in the same breath as those three guys is kind of blasphemous to me. And the percentages of this survey that at the time that you voted and sent it to us proves that, because he was at 6%, Ric Flair was at 11%. Kurt Angle was at 39% and Bret Hart was at 44%. And that was at the given time of that survey.
Whenever that was, whenever I shared it.
Right? It was a few days ago. So, but we're going to go based off of those numbers. Now, you guys both agree that it's Kurt Angle. And while I sit here and I can agree with that, I just can't overstate the body of work that Bret Hart had in the WWF. Okay.
I agree. So let me just to put this into it. I feel like if Bret hadn't gone to WCW and got kicked in the face and just sort of fell off the planet,
Goldberg kicked me in the fucking face, that untrained fucking ape.
Bret, the Montreal screw job happened, and as far as I'm concerned, Bret Hart's career ended at that point.
Yes,
because nothing he did after that made a lasting impression on anything.
There's the metal. The don't forget the metal plate thing. The metal plate thing is his claim to fame in WCW. Okay,
that's fine, but it wasn't. That was mid card at best. That wasn't
Hey, he was working with Goldberg when he pulled the fucking middle the steel plate. Okay.
Okay. Well, he still got kicked, and then he got kicked in the face, and that was basically the end.
Okay. Touche.
Should have had a plate on his face.
Should have been wearing, like, you know how he has the Calgary Hitmen, like the hockey team.
Yeah.
And he should have had the whole gimmick on. Like that should have been his thing.
It really should have had a goalie mask on.
I mean, it didn't work for
the
Sidney
entire
Crosby, so I'm assuming it
trajectory.
probably wouldn't have worked for Brett either. But
I mean, it was the
At least he
valiant
wouldn't
effort.
be a little whiny bitch for the rest of his life.
I mean, I don't know if that would have saved that, but still,
no, I think we're past bitter Brett. I think
just barely though. We're past bitter Brett as of like maybe 2021. I feel like it's not like it's very short lived past bitter Brett.
I do, but I feel like to piggyback off that before you get into your point about Kurt Angle, I think that after the Hart Foundation went into the WWE Hall of Fame, I think is whenever he started to kind of come off his bitterness a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I think he was treated really well, and I think that you just seeing the boys and being in, I think it gave him a little bit of something he hadn't had in a long time, and I agree. I think he softened. I think the sharp edges blunted after that. But as far as Kurt is concerned, I mean, you got to figure this guy walked into WWE, immediately picked it up, and was immediately a main event guy, and was pretty much for his entire run in his first run. In
Hey, he was the Eurocontinental champion.
He was fantastic, and he was great in everything. Whatever they gave Kurt Angle was fucking gold. It was great. And then then he went to TNA. Perk Kurt went to TNA, and Perk Kurt gave no shits about.
Hey, I'm pretty
anything.
sure you can't say that in a public forum. I think
Perk
that
Kurt?
that
Yes,
might
I
be.
can.
I think that might be like slander or.
Buddy, he admitted it. He was on like a dozen Percocets at any given time. Like
That's it.
I think it was 60.
In a day, maybe. Like you could take 60 all at once. You'll fucking die.
60 in a day.
But anyway, so
That's a lot of Percocets, bro.
That's a lot of money. If you watch the documentary, he had a whole journal of like.
You know what? Here's the thing. So I started to watch that. I haven't finished it yet. I keep forgetting that it's there.
Very good.
So I do need to go back and watch that. I'm sorry, Tom. Go ahead. Kurt Percocet, Kurt TNA.
I mean,
go.
But he was so good, and he got to work with he got to work with the next generation of guys before
AJ
they were the
Styles.
next generation of guys. So he got to work a lot with AJ Styles. He got to work a lot with Samoa Joe. But then at the same time,
know who that is.
But then at the same time, he was also getting to work with Sting, who was still Sting, who was still in his late 40s. He was getting to work with Booker T. He was getting to work with Hulk Hogan, Scott Steiner a little bit. I mean, he got to work with some legends at the time too, who weren't maybe
Jay
necessarily
Lethal. Didn't he work with Jay Lethal a little bit?
He definitely worked with Jay Lethal. Had some great matches with Jay Lethal.
Woo.
Yeah, that also got to work with Ric Flair, but we don't remember that. But he did get to work with Ric Flair too. But just a lot of great stuff from Kurt Angle and TNA as well. And then he came back and was, in my mind, one of the best commissioners the WWE ever had. Like him and Mick
I don't know.
Foley
Page was pretty good, pal.
Page was great too. Look, we've had a lot of good commissioners in WWE, but Kurt's up there with them. And I thought he did a fantastic job with that, which kept him in almost every segment of Raw or SmackDown whenever he was commissioner of SmackDown too. Like it just kept him rolling. And then he got back in the ring and wrestled. And I mean, we were there for some of his going out matches. Not his final one, but we were there for his one with Chad Gable, were we not? I was there. Were you guys with me, or was I with Adam?
You were with Adam, but Derek and I were there.
Okay, yeah, we ate beforehand. We just didn't sit at the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
We were all there. We were all there. So I'm just saying it was like, so I think as far as Kurt Angle's, for me, as far as Kurt Angle is concerned, it's more of the body of work, because it's like, okay, he gets in what, 98, I think Kurt debuted. And then
something like it was like 90. Not
it was like 96. 96 when he won the
96,
gold?
97, something like
No,
that.
it
Yeah.
wasn't 96.
He won the
It had
gold
to
in
have been-
96, and they wanted to bring him in 97, and he was like, well, I mean, I'm not going to lose. Goddamn Olympic gold medalist. So it was probably 98. 98's probably.
98, I think, is when he debuted.
Hey, listen, not to derail you here, but like I want to talk about Kurt Angle, like in TNA days. Like my man does not look great here.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you're down in that many Percocets, but the man was putting on bangers.
you know what I'm
like,
saying? Like he
looked
definitely
terrible.
does.
He's got the
He looked-
1,000-yard stare there for sure.
I
he didn't know
met
what's going on.
him. I met him in Pittsburgh at a like a combat sports thing, the Kumite Classic at the Monroeville Convention Center, right? 1 year when he was still at TNA, and it was during Percocet Kurt time. And man,
Did you guys
real
share a duffel
real
bag of
sad,
pills?
bro. Real sad to see him that way. You know what I'm saying? And then like,
My
hey,
dad
man,
sat
kicked out.
next to him on a plane one time during the TNA Perk Kurt run, and he was like, I didn't bug him much, but man, did he seem out of it. He slept a lot. We didn't go that far. I think they were just flying to like New York or something. My dad never flew far. He would just fly to like New York, Chicago, place wherever he had to go, but it was always within 2-3 hours.
Couple hours.
Yeah. And it was like he was like, man, Kurt was I met Kurt Angle, and he was real excited about it because like we were big wrestling fans. He was like, dude, I met Kurt Angle, it was so great. I sat next to him on the plane. I was like, oh, what'd you talk? It was like, well, I didn't want to bother him, but he slept a lot. I didn't really bug him. He was kind of had a 1,000-yard stare going on. It was he met him. He said, oh, my son and I are big fans, shook his hand and all that. I said, oh, thank you very much. And but that was it. So yeah, it wasn't the best time for Kurt at that, but man, was he killing it in the ring. He was jumping off of shit, and he was feeling no pain.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He should have been feeling pain, but he was not feeling the pain.
No doubt he was not feeling the pain. And I think maybe that's we kind of joke at that, right, Derek? But I think Tom actually proves a pretty valid point about his body of work at TNA, because a lot of those matches were fucking phenomenal. No pun intended, but heavily implied. And like he always even Kurt Angle himself has been quoted in saying something along the lines of, it's really hard for me to understand and believe that I'm a WWE Hall of Famer because I spent most of my career outside of the WWE.
At least the in-ring part of his career.
Yeah.
He spent what,
true.
16 years in TNA? It was something 15
something
years?
like that. It was something crazy. So like I don't think that anybody
to the mark that he left on the WWE while he was there in his short time.
Well, then he came back.
Well, he had 2 stints,
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah, but he was already a Hall of Famer when he came back for the second stint. So like they had made him a Hall of Famer, and then he became the commissioner. So like I think that was part of it, right? And then
and then they let him wrestle again, and he could still
they did.
go.
He could
Honestly,
still go.
he's one of the best parts of Ronda Rousey's best match.
I talked about, that's true. Absolutely. He just was on Chris Van Vliet's podcast not too terribly long ago, and he was talking about his retirement match against Baron Corbin, and he said that hey man, I absolutely wanted to that's funny. So we've got a meat puppet, Jeffrey Meat Puppet. I kind of like that. That's funny.
We can go with that. That's good.
Thanks, pal. We're good. We're into it. We're not mad at it.
No.
So, but yeah, like, fuck me. I totally lost my train of thought. Don't you love when that happens? Like I tried
Matt Holland
to acknowledge.
fucked up your world.
We were talking Chris Van Vliet.
So he
Angle.
was on Chris Van Vliet's podcast not too long ago, and he was talking about Baron Corbin being his retirement match, and he was like, "Hey man, like I don't have a problem working with Corbin," and they offered him Cena, but he would have had to have waited another year to WrestleMania to have Cena, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not fucking waiting that long. I'll take Corbin. Like, I'm perfectly okay with working with Corbin." And he put Corbin over big time, man, talking about what a consummate professional he is and how like talented he is in the ring. And then Corbin was on Chris Van Vliet's show a couple weeks later, which was a fantastic interview. Baron Corbin, I've not really seen do too much media, especially probably more or less because he's always, playing that heel role. But Van Vliet really is focused on the person behind that kind of sort of mostly. And great fucking interview, man. And he put Kurt over, talking about what an honor it was to work with him, and talked about the Undertaker telling him to protect End of Days, and this, that, and the third. Great fucking interview. But Kurt, nobody's going to take anything away from Kurt Angle. I'm certainly not going to take anything away from Kurt Angle, but I have to argue that the body of work that Bret Hart had still far outshines the body of work that Kurt Angle had.
Again, I don't disagree with you. And had the wind not been blown out of Bret's sails post Montreal Screwjob, if he went to WCW and even had an impact on the level in WCW that, like, let's say Chris Jericho had.
Yeah, but is that his fault? I don't think that's his fault.
I'm not saying it's his fault.
When
I'm
you
not
take
saying it's his fault, but he didn't turn chicken shit into chicken salad.
Like, you just you debut Bret Hart as a fucking special guest referee. Like, this instantly tells you that this is where you value him as a talent, right? And I mean, even Bischoff said, like, later on in life, hey, like, we fumbled fucking Bret Hart. I'll be the first to tell you I dropped the ball with Bret Hart. But, is it some of that too, making chicken salad out of chicken shit? I don't know. But,
I think it is. I really think it is. And that just might be my opinion. But I really think that the ability, like Kurt's ability to overcome, I think, really, because we joke about Kurt, right? We've already joked about it. It's already been a thing. But like, the man had a serious drug addiction and was putting on match of the year contenders. Like,
I mean, he won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
Won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Like, you want to talk about the guy that you could give anything, even in WWE, he was a guy you could give anything to, and not only would it be good.
What's up, bro?
It would be fucking incredible. Like, it was great. There was nothing he could not do. There was nothing he could not take and elevate. Whereas with Bret Hart, I felt like he got in his feelings a lot. Yes, when Bret was firing on all cylinders, pound for pound, could Bret Hart technical wrestle Kurt Angle in a match?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No
Has
question.
Bret Hart
Without
put on more?
Yes.
Does Bret Hart have more great matches than Kurt Angle? Probably.
Yes.
But
no doubt.
But the body of work that we're talking about here, is Kurt Angle more consistently amazing?
No. I see what you're trying to do here, and I'm just not going to let this happen
over a longer period of time.
I see what you're trying to do here, sir.
Consistency over time,
and I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to let you take a fucking 12-month window in WCW and call that the problem behind the entirety of Bret Hart's career. I'm just not going to let you do that.
Well, that was the end, though. There was no more.
Okay, everybody has an end.
40 years old.
No.
That was the end.
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Look, agree to disagree. I'm just saying that there's a breadth of work that just didn't do it for me. There just wasn't enough.
Man, that's wild. That's wild.
It wasn't enough.
You're gonna look at like 92 against a Bulldog at Wembley, huh? Like, what?
No, I'm not saying that wasn't fantastic. That's not what I'm saying.
The Iron Man match at WrestleMania 11, Shawn Michaels.
I'm not going to say that wasn't amazing.
WrestleMania 10 with Owen Hart, probably the greatest match
one of the greatest matches of all time.
One of the greatest match of all
time. I don't know about that.
No,
one
no.
it was
the top match of all time.
It's easily top 3, but
it's easily top 1.
Okay.
I mean, you just know there's no argument. Tell me one match that's better than that from an in-ring work perspective. You can't.
I mean, I wasn't prepared to.
I bet that's what I'm saying. Like we're talking solely, strictly in-ring work. That's the best in-ring work of a match of all time.
That's one, yeah, but like that's not all of them. That's not the breadth.
Bulldog and Brett.
Bulldog
92
sucked.
SummerSlam. That
Bulldog
match was fucking incredible. Go watch it.
It was great because Brett dragged Bulldog through everything.
That just proves my point.
It really does. Okay. All right. So again, does Brett have a couple better matches than Kurt could ever do? Yes, he does.
Couple?
I'm just saying. I feel like there's more Kurt to go around.
Come on, pal. We can't be doing this right now. Like we just can't. You can't. And then I got this idiot over here. What are you clicking on, bro?
I'm preparing.
Hi.
For one, I found Matthew Holland.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
This is our special guest. He's the leader of the Church of Latter-day Saints, guys. We should show this man respect.
You're done.
Can you imagine? This is who we have watching the show right now.
Who gave you control over my show? Who gave you control over my production? Okay.
Church of Latter-day Saints. Jesus Christ.
This is why you don't have any responsibilities. Okay.
Responsibilities. Or Tommy Pickles.
I was busy over here.
Give me my screwdriver.
Nakey is nakey.
Oh shit! I can't stand you, Derek. Hey, so I can see your argument, Tom, and I mean Derek's just gonna go, yeah, what Tom said.
I personally can't stand Bret Hart, so my opinion is very skewed. He's a little ball baby bitch. He is, and I'm sorry. I know that he had great matches over the years, but I mean the feedback that we've gotten from.
To be fair to Derek, he was a baby. He didn't watch.
I was a baby.
I
know nothing. And then we've gotten feedback from Eric Bishop.
He was just shitting himself.
Bret's time in WCW. While he did drop the ball, sure, all right, he can take some responsibility.
It's weird that Derek was.
Brett needs to take some responsibility for it as well, though, because he was consistently late. He had no heart in wrestling at this point. He shut up. His heart wasn't in it. So no,
Bret Hart had no heart.
He had no heart.
Did you hear, Tom? Did you hear what this fucking guy just said? He was always late. He didn't have any heart. God damn it.
Hey, I know a guy who's always late.
Is he fucking right?
Jesus.
That's the biggest pot calling the kettle black thing I've ever heard in my entire life, bro.
Be your fucking idol then.
That's why I'm paid to be a talking head. I'm not paid to be a wrestler.
You get paid?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, who gets fucking paid?
You get fucking paid.
Must be whenever I took over control. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now the checks go to him, huh?
Yeah. Hey, so listen, Derek, did you watch Crown Jewel, bub?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think about it?
I didn't hate it nearly as much as I believe Tom probably hated it.
And you know what? I didn't hate it nearly as much as Tom did.
Glorified house show, guy.
I don't understand how. Okay, Derek, I've got this, buddy. Okay,
go for it, sir.
You can just co-sign me on this one. All right. Hey, Tom, I don't know if you were paying attention, but like Crown Jewel was like a legitimate storytelling premium live event on Saturday.
What, other than the very obvious Rey Mysterio dropping the title to Logan Paul. What was the
so we weren't paying
everybody
attention.
Else was and still like what the fuck was it? It's
so listen,
they fed LA Knight to Roman.
Okay, we called that fucking like 6 weeks ago, bud. Okay.
Yeah,
shouldn't have been surprising.
Nothing. Seth Rollins retained.
Yeah,
and Damian Priest was not allowed to cash in.
Oh yeah, but then what happened?
Then what happened?
Then what happened? Sami Zayn stole the briefcase after he said
gave it back tonight.
After he said on Monday that he was gonna he was gonna make sure that Judgment Day didn't have all the power. They're moving the needle on the story. They're pal. Come on,
Sure, great. It was a great look. It was a great Monday Night Raw on Saturday afternoon.
Wow.
It was a great Monday Night Raw. On
I
Saturday
wish
afternoon.
Monday Night Raw was like that.
You
I
know
would
what?
watch more.
Monday Night Raw is already going to be like that. We already had a tag team title match. It was good. The Miz, somehow the Miz just won the goddamn thing.
Next, Tom's going to be picking his match of the week from Monday Night Raw that he's watching currently.
The one right now. No, I watched Raw this week.
Just licking
Thank
its
you.
nuts as he watches.
Like, I just can't, bro. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and allow you to say that this was another glorified house show, because it just wasn't.
But why wasn't it? Explain
It
to me
just
why.
wasn't.
Explain to me
Because
why.
they moved the needle on the
What
storyline with.
needle did they move?
Will you just
The heroin needle, the one that was in
I-
their arm while they were taking all that Saudi money, getting them poppy seeds.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Fuck them. You know what? I'd take $1 billion fucking dollars too. All right,
mean,
and
we
I'm
all-
not ashamed to fucking say it.
Whatever. I mean, it's just the blood wipes off. You just got to put it in the washing machine.
That's
it comes. It's.
I'd poop on your desk for $1, bud. Like, I don't know.
That's
what,
fine. I'd let
you
you
should-
for.
I mean,
Maybe not for $1. Like, if people were going to give you maybe like
Like $100.
If you were like Tom, there's like I'm gonna take like $300, but they said I have to poop on your desk. I'd be like, you have to buy me dinner, but come on, let's go.
but
Yeah, and it can't be at the,
I'll
at
give
the
you your
normal
privacy.
spot. Yeah.
So
give you your
listen,
privacy.
but listen, we got the Sami Zayn's gonna starting to get his little singles push here again, going up against Judgment Day, which is the hottest act in the fucking game right now. All right, like, don't be a hater on that. That's an advanced storyline. And then we've got Logan Paul beat Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. I want to talk about that at length here, not like super length, but we're gonna circle back to that because I want to prove my point. All right, and then Gary Sane comes back, and now
That was
Io
cool.
and her
Okay.
are alive.
All right,
Okay.
all right. Carrie
Bailey's-
Sane coming back is cool.
Bailey is in storyline. The reason why Kairi Sane has been gone, right? And now that creates a little bit of a wrinkle, a little bit of a little smushy of a problem.
No, I like. Okay,
John
I really,
Cena might have retired on Saturday. Okay, let's not forget that happened. But this is just another glorified house show. Okay,
If John Cena retires in Saudi Arabia, that'll be like one of the worst things that's ever happened in wrestling. It really will be.
That'd be
Like-
very un-American.
That'd be terrible. That'd be the most terrible thing. That
You better
that
hustle,
to
loyalty,
me,
respect
that
your
to
ass
me
over here to the
proves-
States and
that
retire,
to me
boy.
is just the death of like WWE American imperialism. That's it. That's the end of it. It's dead. It's dead. We bury it. You cut its head off. You shit in it. You shit down its neck. That's the end. That's the end.
I mean, maybe that's because it's WWE's new home.
I felt real bad. It felt bad inside when you said that. It felt bad inside when you said that.
I mean,
I
I'm just
felt
saying, Vince said that.
I
So-
fucking
so-
heard him.
So did they have to pay that off? And was
I
John Cena
fucking
that
heard.
vehicle to pay that comment off?
Look,
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Look, if that's the vehicle to pay that off, the only way you can pronounce John Cena from now on is John Cena, like he's tequila. 'Cause fucking
Listen, he's the greatest of all time.
John Cena. Although he did say something about that, is that he got away with his own name for so long that now they had to put a moniker to it. So now he's the GOAT.
He said he said while that is not his opinion, it is how he feels.
It's apparently
Well,
Michael Cole's opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that it was Vince McMahon's opinion that he told Michael Cole to say live on television.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
That's like let's call a spade a spade.
And then Vince got fired from the creative team.
Man, what kind of like is that our next topic? Because like, what is the man? The what is the karma behind that?
That's fucking hilarious, bro.
Oh my god! Like
I think
was
you and I touched on it a couple of weeks ago, I think. Man, it's funny though to like really put it into perspective that like Vince actually got fired from the creative position
holy shit
by his new
like, that is-
boss.
Like that
like-
is like
Nah, man, we don't need you working on that right now. Like, no,
Or
you need
ever.
to focus your
Un-
energy somewhere else. Paul's got this, bro.
unbelievable. Like that, I didn't think anybody on earth had the balls to say that to Vince.
Ari Emanuel clearly has
I
the
mean,
balls.
Vince is an old man. He wouldn't have said that to 50-year-old Vince McMahon, but
The genetic
good-
jackhammer Vince McMahon.
yeah, but Jesus Christ, I mean, I don't know that I'd say that to 70 whatever year old Vince McMahon.
Hey man,
Like,
you give
either.
somebody $8 or $9 billion, you can tell them to go fucking pound sand as
I
much
mean,
as you
I
want.
guess, yeah. If you
Yeah,
got enough
that's-
money to throw around,
That's
you can
factual too.
You can tell. I mean, but there's the list of people in the world that can say that to people like Vince McMahon is very short. It's less than 10 humans.
It's
Do it
very
grows as he gets older.
It's very granular.
It's yeah. There's not a lot of people on that list, and one of them guys was like, "No, he's got this, dude. You work on something else. Like, work. You told Vince McMahon to work on something else that's not pro wrestling? What? What? What the fuck? No, yeah, it's I'm still not over it. If you can't tell,
Yeah, man,
Like,
it's wild. It's wild. But you know what? We're
it's as a wrestling fan, that's the wildest thing that's happened ever in
I
wrestling.
mean, and here's the thing: like when we can't bitch about it anymore either. Like that's
We can't.
So I mean,
It happened, and we all just went, "Huh." I'm not mad at it, but, huh? I know it. I never expected to live to see that. I thought Vince was going to have to be a cold, dead corpse before he was done, and I was certain that there was going to still be like
He's got a boss now, pal. I mean,
post-death Vince McMahon bookings that still existed. I was certain that post his death there were still going to be storylines to play out. I was certain of that.
no, Vince didn't book that far in advance in these days, pal.
I mean, it wouldn't have been
maybe,
a long time.
maybe back
but
in
it
the
would've-
'80s, but
It would
not
have been
now.
a couple of months. I just, man.
Hey, so listen, here's the thing I want to discuss. I want to discuss the absolute just marketing gold mine that WWE struck on Saturday when they wrapped that beautiful, gorgeous United States Championship around the waist of one social media megastar, Logan Paul. You want to talk about some fucking eyeballs, pal?
I mean, you want to talk about a thing that was getting no eyeballs to a thing that's now going to get all the eyeballs? Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was trying to point out when I was calling this Blood Money 8 is that, like, why wouldn't you look, Rey Mysterio shouldn't have held that title anyway, but to have him drop it to Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia is a stroke of marketing genius.
Oh,
that's
and there
all it
was
is, it's
there was
marketing.
a
It's
story
not-
at the end of that match too, pal. I don't know, but we'll get to that in a minute.
It's fine. But I'm just saying that, like, a stroke of marketing genius is really what it was, because between now and whenever Logan Paul shows up again, he's just going to be watched by 1 billion people at a time on YouTube with that over his shoulder.
Yeah, he said something at the
How would you
post
not?
thingy, I think maybe, or like some media that he did on Monday. I don't fucking know. I read this I read this like yesterday. He said that he's absolutely open to go and work at the PC. And then somebody said, so like, what's this mean for your involvement within the product? And he said, well, I guess it means I'm going to be here because like I'm a champion now and I'm supposed to be here. Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably going to be pretty short lived, maybe Royal Rumble. Because Logan Paul's got a million other fucking things going on.
I would say that it's brilliant because they're just going to let him hold it through the end of the year because they don't have shit going on for the rest of the year. I mean, he's not going to be involved in Survivor Series, and
he might be now because word on the
he
street
might
is
be, but he's
Roman's
not
out.
I mean, he might be, but he's not. I mean, and maybe he'll be. You're right. He will be. He probably will be involved in Survivor Series. They'll probably just make him defend it against somebody or whatever. But between now and the end of the year, like he'll show up to like a couple pay-per-views, maybe like 2 dates, maybe 3 or 4. The Friday before or whatever. The Friday before, and then the pay-per-view. Couple dates, but between now and the end of the year. But that'll keep eyes on the product through what's usually the deadest season of wrestling ever.
Well, I think that we touched on this a couple weeks ago too. It's, if you really think about it, this is Triple H's like first run into the end of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, last year, he took over creative right around SummerSlam, and we saw some cool things, with Bailey coming back and Io Sky and Dakota Kai and all that stuff. But shortly after that, it was when Vince kind of weaseled himself back into that. So that end of year push, we have not really got to see yet. So maybe Triple H being full in charge, maybe he won't take his foot off the gas going into the end of the year. Maybe he'll keep on keeping on, because Tom, I know you and I talked about this a few weeks ago. We talked about AEW moving into the end of the year and how they can't afford to take their foot off the gas, because it might spell doom and gloom for their company, if you remember this conversation. So I think that, from where I'm sitting, it would be smart of both companies to keep their foot on the gas going into the end of the year, especially now you've got momentum in AEW with, Sting's retirement and Ric Flair coming in, and we can sit here and we can talk about that not being momentum for them, but that absolutely is momentum. And if you look across the forums, that's what's being talked about, is Sting's retirement and Ric Flair coming back, and what that's going to mean for that. So that's picking up some attention. So there's a lot of attention going on the other side of the coin.
They're not going to be able to retire a legend every year either. That's like, they're doing that thing that WWE was doing when WWE was floundering a few years ago, and we would shit on that shit like 2018-ish. Like, we would shit on that like constantly. It's like, God, this is shitty. Why is this so bad? Why we got to bring out Bill Goldberg all the goddamn time? Like, stuff like that.
I mean, that was trash, but we're not to Goldberg and AEW yet, and I mean, we discussed a couple of things that AEW's got going on here this week that has our attention, a la Keith Lee taking on Samoa Joe. I'm
watching Wednesday. I'm watching Wednesday for that.
That makes me want to watch.
My eyeballs. That's got my eye. That's my plans Wednesday night, is to watch Dynamite.
Okay, so here's the question: what Keith Lee are we getting here? Do you know what I'm saying? Like that. That's
so
what
that I don't know, because if it's the fucking weird wizard guy, who can't fucking wrestle and can't catch his breath, I am gonna be so pissed, and you will hear that from me on Monday next week. But I hope we get Keith Lee. The same Keith Lee that pounced Adam Cole into the 18th row back in NXT. I hope we get that guy. If we get that guy and present day Samoa Joe.
Problem is, we haven't seen that guy in AEW yet.
I mean, if anybody's going to get it out of him, it's going to be Samoa Joe. And look, to me, this is the swan song of Keith Lee, right? Either he and Samoa Joe put on a banger, or this is the last time I'm interested in seeing Keith Lee on television.
So, I mean, I haven't been interested to see Keith Lee on television since Keith Lee's been on television. Just hadn't done it for me.
I mean, I fucking love the guy in NXT. I was real excited when he showed up in AEW, but he's been bad.
Listen, there's no doubt about it. He's an athletic fucking just monster of a man, and when he's clicking on all cylinders, he's fun to watch. But when he tries to play a character, I'm not into it, bro.
God, the Creed brothers are so goddamn strong. Anyway.
And then the other thing that AEW's got going on this week, that is just absolutely going to be electric, is Mark Briscoe and Jay White.
Yeah, that's going to be like, that's why AEW, like, Dynamite this week is a banger. Like, they've booked 2 matches that are like, oh my god kind of matches. Like, so we'll see.
Yeah, man. But I to put a bow on Crown Jewel, overall, I don't necessarily agree, Tom, that this was just another glorified house show. I think that there was a lot of storytelling mechanisms that happened, and if you weren't paying attention for them, you might have missed them, like Santos Escobar throwing the brass knucks on the ring apron, right in front of Logan Paul's feet. I mean, it's a little suspect. It's a little suspect.
It's whole lot.
mean, well, a little suspect, you know. But they absolutely had some things to move some stories, and while we didn't get any payoffs necessarily, you know,
But that's the thing about a pay-per-view, though, is that a premium live event is we're supposed to get some payoffs. We didn't get any payoffs. We just got, it was like, hey, this is Raw plus SmackDown 2.0.
Listen, in some
I'm
of
not
those
saying
shows
it was a bad show. I'm just saying that it's not a. It's not a. It's not. They book it up to be a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania, and it's not that. It's just a.
I mean, it is that. It's just not that.
It's
production wise, it is that.
Production wise, okay, yes, they put that kind of money into it because they're paid double what they're paid for SummerSlam, and probably not double what they're paid for WrestleMania, but they're paid double. They're paid WrestleMania money for a SummerSlam-esque show.
So here's my closing arguments on this, right? And 2 years ago, I would have totally agreed with you, and I have totally agreed with you that this was just a cash grab. But I think that this maybe, you know, has become one of those like fast lane type pay-per-views where, you know, it's just it's a mechanism to tell a little bit of a deeper story, you know, while putting something big and meaningful feeling thing in front of you.
It always feels to me like a Raw 1000 kind of a show. You know what I mean? Like that kind of a like, well, we're going to pull out. And to their credit, they've done a better job of not like rolling out the old stuff. Like they're at least not dragging out Goldberg. They're not dragging out, you know, the first one they put on of this, they were like, well, we want Yokozuna. We want the Macho Man. It was like, well, those guys are dead. Well, these guys are dead. We can't drag corpses onto shows. So you know, he's dead. He's also dead. They were like, but what about Mr. Perfect? Well, he's dead. Jake the Snake. He doesn't walk so good anymore.
Pretty much
no
stuff like that.
Hear me out, pal. It's good shit.
Yeah. What if
the lights go down? Nobody knows what's going on. You following me there, Prince? Then all of a sudden, look in my eyes. What do you see?
See, I don't think they care about CM Punk in Saudi Arabia. Because if they did, we'd already have had CM Punk back in WWE.
Why? He's already Saudi Arabia halfway to Muslim. He doesn't do alcohol, doesn't do drugs. They should love him.
I don't disagree. I just don't think they do like him, because if they wanted CM Punk, they'd have CM Punk. But I don't think they want CM Punk.
So do you see what we're doing right now? How we just like made like a random thing about CM Punk seem like important, right?
Oh, great segue. Let's do that. Let's do that.
The internet does this all the time.
Let's do that.
Okay, and like the CM Punk saga continues. Like, this is the most mythical story in all of pro wrestling, is that of one Phil Brooks. Okay, like this is like Zeus standing on the top of Mount Olympus with thunderbolts. Good storytelling. What's going on with CM Punk right now? Did you know that CM Punk has an interview, a Zoom call with the board of directors for WWE so that he can come back?
I mean, the board's going to let him come back. That's probably, I mean, I know how shareholders work, and they don't see things as, well, somebody's going to punch him in the face in the locker room. They see things as, well, this is money, and I like money. Let's get money.
So, but it's going to be really hard for CM Punk to come work at WWE whenever he's the guy under the devil mask on the other show.
It really is. It's really going to be hard for him to work on two different shows. It's a lot of travel, especially for a guy who hasn't traveled much in the last decade.
All while he's going to be doing fucking one-off shots for the NWA, even though they can't afford him and they're willing to go into bankruptcy just to have him appear on one show. All while he's going to be the the world champion at Impact Wrestling.
It's a hot commodity. I don't know what you want me to say. And he was on Impact, or not Impact, fucking NWA.
He was visiting Impact though. He did visit.
He did visit Impact. He visited Impact. He's going to be on NWA. Man, Phil Brooks is he's a busier man than John Cena, and we can see him.
So I bring all this up because this just continues to lend credence to the fact that nobody fucking knows what they're talking about anywhere.
Absolutely not. I would bet you almost that we don't see CM Punk anywhere. He might show up as like a commentator in NWA, and that's probably the only real thing.
Like, what are we doing here?
We're driving internet clicks. That's it. That's all we're doing. That's it. Because nobody's going to tune in to see this shit because there's no substance behind it. But to tease it on the internet is clickable. And if you didn't know this, WWE makes like a gazillion dollars from YouTube because YouTube revenue is crazy. They also make a lot of TikTok revenue. They just make a lot of internet revenue as well, which was not a revenue stream back in the day, but they're making more internet revenue streams from YouTube and TikTok and all that other shit than they were just doing house shows in the 80s. Like a lot more, like 10 times more. It's fucking insane. That's the new bread and butter of wrestling. And, you know, again, WWE is like the most subscribed to sport on YouTube. It's more than the NFL. It's more than the NBA. It's more than it's insane. So this is that. This is just them driving those clicks, and the clicks to those affiliates, the wrestling people in the know who report the news. Us dudes here. We're talking about them again, and we're gonna get the clicks. They're gonna get the clicks back to WWE. It's just.
No, my really super clickbaity title is what's gonna get the clicks.
Well, I mean, Walt.
Yeah, good lord.
Yeah, but we're gonna pay that off though, like we always do. You know, we're gonna pay that.
I feel
off.
like we're actually like.
Yeah, we're gonna pay that off.
We're really good about all of it. Like we're really, really good. We're really good at what we do.
No, I agree, and the folks that watch us on a week-to-week basis tend to agree with us, I believe, as well.
They should hit the thumbs up button a little harder. And
yeah,
share
that would
us.
be that would be
and
great.
Share us with their wrestling friends, their fucking Mark friends who don't.
Yeah,
know shit
bunch of
about
fuck. We're all Marks, man. You know what I mean? Like, just share the love.
Hey, speak for yourself. I'm not a Mark.
Yeah, you're absolutely a fucking Mark. You're like the worst kind of Mark.
I'm the prime Mark.
Like,
I'm Mark Marrow.
Goodness gracious. So the thing is, like, the internet has made CM Punk more important than CM Punk actually is, right?
Oh, sure.
And you know, I think that anybody that brings him on, whether he's still under contract in AEW and he is the man under the mask, which, you know, I mean, could have legs. Like, this could fall back. We always think Tony Khan's given us the biggest work ever, and maybe this whole CM Punk storyline is just a giant work, and we're going to get paid off with the devil. And if it happens, I will bend over and I will kiss my own ass goodbye, because Tony Khan pulled the greatest fucking wrestling storyline in the history of wrestling storylines.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I hope that's true. I hope that happens.
Okay, and if we get that payoff, I stand corrected.
Me too. I would love to be corrected. Love it. Please correct me, Tony Khan. However,
but that's not how real life works.
No.
Tony can't keep a secret for a week, let alone months at a time.
Yo, he's getting out of control with his special
There's
on-air
chance.
announcements. He made an
I don't even
announcement
tune in
to
for
make
him
an
anymore. I don't
announcement.
care. Yeah, like, it's stupid. I don't care that you're putting tickets on sale. Good for you.
You know, so but like I think that the whole shtick with that, right, is CM Punk is going to do what's best for Phil Brooks. Okay. Phil Brooks is going to do what's best for CM Punk. And if that means that Phil Brooks has to sit at home and be in D-level horror movies and commentate for a D-level MMA organization to remain relevant in the eyes of the fucking marks, then that's what Phil Brooks is going to do. Okay. But if the powers that be at WWE or AEW or Impact or NWA believe that CM Punk is what's best for business for them, they are in turn going to have to deal with Phil Brooks doing what's best for Phil Brooks.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that is where the crux of this entire thing lies, is can CM Punk actually just exist in a locker room? Some people say yes, some people say no. He's got detractors, he's got supporters, both in the ring, in the locker room, out of the ring, out of the locker room, however you want to put it. You either love him or you hate him. There's no in between.
I think that in a heavily policed locker room, in the way that WWE's locker room is, he could be not a day-to-day one of the boys kind of guy, but he could certainly be a special attraction. In AEW, I don't think I don't know that he can coexist in AEW. I think that's really the problem. And I think the question within WWE is, do we want to spend that much time and effort on a guy who we will have to protect in the locker room, or have people go, okay, look, you're not allowed to talk to him.
Put him behind a rickety door.
Yeah, put him behind a rickety door. You're not allowed to talk to him. You leave him alone. You go in. If you try to kick his door in, I'm going to fire you. Like that kind of shit. Like,
Oh
and
no,
I don't,
Larry the dog's gonna fucking bite you if you try to
Right.
kick in that rickety door.
Larry will bite you with his no teeth and his underbite, and leave a weird mark on your arm. And just, you don't want to walk out on live television with a weird, jacked up dog bite.
Listen,
right?
I don't care. That's still the greatest pro wrestling T-shirt of all time. The CM Punk, Roddy Piper, Larry the Dog shirt. Like, I need that
really
in my
good.
life. It's a great
Yeah.
shirt. Listen, I don't know, man. And I'm picking up what you're putting down. And like, time's gonna tell. But we gotta stop. We gotta stop. Just let it happen. Like,
can he be somewhere? Like, if he could just show up. To be fair, he did come back to AEW.
He did.
He did come back. It was not. It didn't last, but he did come back. So maybe he came back and got hurt again. Maybe he's also got osteoporosis.
I'm saying maybe it's a work, man.
All that fucking Pepsi got hurt.
You know why he's so angry. You know why he's so angry? Because he doesn't understand the simple joys of THC and nicotine. Like
a nice cold beer.
Yeah.
That's
why he's so angry.
To be fair, I'd be angry too.
That's probably true.
I really would be. It's like, you know what? I can just let it go.
You know what else just got let go? WWE from Fox Network.
Oh, yeah, it's going back to USA.
Hey, listen, I thought it was really interesting. So what was this? This was like a record-breaking television deal whenever this got signed. What was it, like 5 years, like $1 billion? Like it was something. It was like record-breaking, right? And the CEO of the Fox, the Fox over there, Lachlan Murdoch, says that the WWE's audience was the reason they didn't renew them, because we're not hitting the advertising numbers due to the audience of the WWE for our return on investment to be above the levels that we would accept. But also we didn't attribute enough significant retransmission revenue to the WWI either.
So we don't want to buy your stuff. We're poor consumers.
Yeah.
Basically, they should have understood whenever they went into this. We're not tuning into your channel to watch your commercials nor buy your products. We're going to tune into whatever channel it is, whether it be UPN, whether it be, TBS, doesn't matter. It could be the O network for all I care. All I know is I want to watch wrestling, and I'm going to find whatever channel's that on.
So I think the thing that Fox thought was that they were going to get consumers ready to buy, so that like they could really put on a product on a Friday night where it's hard to get viewers, and they were going to soak in 2.5 million to 5 million viewers every week, but those viewers were going to be heavily engaged and willing to buy Downy and Tide and all this other shit, and that just wasn't the case. They got these old guys. They got the hardcores. They got the fans. They got the wrestling fans who are willing to go to the shows. We'll buy the wrestling T-shirts. But we're not here to buy whatever crap that you're putting on Fox. We're not going to watch your Fox shitty reality shows. Like, I realize that in your Fox brain, it's like, oh, you're going to watch wrestling. You're also going to watch Temptation Island. No, you're not. We're not. We're not the same audience. It's not even close. Actually, it couldn't be more different. And we tune in. We're really more of an FX audience, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm much more willing to watch things like What We Do in the Shadows or American Horror Story or something like that than I am to watch, Temptation Island or whatever garbage. I mean, I like Gordon Ramsay, so I watch his stuff on Fox, but that's like a Tuesday afternoon like live thing, not a like prime time Friday night thing. So I just think that Fox really went into this kind of with like they didn't know what they were doing, and Vince knew that they didn't know what they were doing, and he exploited them for 5 goddamn years. And they're like, oh, what the hell? How come that didn't work the way we thought it would work, like regular television? It's like, because you're fucking stupid. And it's like everybody's so goddamn stupid. I don't know if like, I'm sure, Walt, I'm sure you agree with me. You deal with the public all the time, more than I do. But everybody's so goddamn stupid. What
you really have no idea, but we'll talk about that offline.
I mean, I'm just I have like 50% of an idea, and it's like, even to me when they signed this deal, it was like, this is not like, I mean, it's like they pulled the wool over the WWE. Vince McMahon and WWE pulled the wool over Fox's eyes, and I went, okay, good job. Yeah, this is only going to be a one-term deal, and it really was. And but hey, get while the getting's good. They don't ask how, they ask how many. They don't ask how, they ask how much. And it was $1 billion. It was record breaking, like you said. And they took that $1 million and they put it in the bank, and then they invested it. And now there's this Endeavor Group, and there's all this other stuff, and there's the Peacock deal, and there's everything else. Hey, you know what's still on? You know what I still get to watch like most days of the week? I get to watch wrestling. So you know who won? I fucking won. I'm sorry that Fox lost, but we won. Thanks, Fox.
I think that pretty much sums it up, huh? I think that pretty much sums that up. So,
knocked it out of the park.
I got a question for you. Guys ready? What's wrong here?
Ooh, pick me. Ooh. I'm Arnold Horshack.
Jeffrey Penis.
The bidding war of 2024 has not yet decided, and therefore, Mr. Maxwell Jacob Friedman is not on this poster. Therefore,
this person noticed it.
I mean, look, do the people on that poster sell a pay-per-view? Absolutely.
You know what I love? Tony Storm front and center.
Front and center, and in black and white.
Yes.
Although I wish they would have made her lips red in that. and the
Yes.
rest of like criticism wise, yes. I don't know why Darby is like shaded blue. Well, I guess Kenny Omega is also shaded red. But her lipstick should have been colored in, but still. Where is Maxwell Jacob Friedman?
Ooh. I know.
Walt.
Probably going to be in WWE by that day.
Absolutely. The bidding war of 2024. I would be shocked if MJF resigns with AEW. If MJF resigns with AEW, it is a last-ditch guaranteed money contract that he could not say no to. It's something to the tune of $50 million guaranteed dollars or something like that.
Yeah, it's got to be something ridiculous to keep him there, right, Derek? Like you even you have to agree that MJF is on his way to New York.
While I don't agree that he is on his way to New York, genuinely, I would say that it would be the hugest mistake that Tony Khan could ever make at this point to let him walk. I don't care if it does take $50 million. Pull out Daddy's checkbook and take care of him. This man has been your champion, has been the face of the company.
He's now their longest reigning champion of all time.
Yeah, there's way too many intangibles attached to this one particular person that you have been pushing and is over as Rover. There's zero chance that they let him walk. That would be a stupid business decision.
He is the gauze that stops the bleeding. He is the stitches. He is the cauterizing of the wound.
Not disagreeing one bit.
At this point, like they have to throw he would have to be the highest paid wrestling commodity in pro wrestling. But
genuinely, just needs to say, "What do you want?" And we'll make that
like 3 to 10-fold, for him to stay. And who's to say that the WWE won't just be like, you know what, we can afford that. Let's, because it would cripple the only legitimate, rival they've had in 20 years.
Yeah.
Who's to say WWE won't just pay it? Because now they have infinite money.
If they don't do it, if they take MJF, it's very well over. I mean, that's bullet to the head of the animal.
That's the end. They're
Wait, you mean to tell me that Adam Copeland's not going to take AEW into 2024 and beyond, Derek?
No, your boy's kind of been failing miserably.
That's not my boy.
Oh yeah, your boy's Edge. Now he's
Edge
Adam. Yes, sorry. But now this is make it or break it moment here. I have good feelings that he'll hopefully stay. That Tony's going to pull out the Daddy's checkbook.
Tony wouldn't pull out Daddy's checkbook whenever MJF was like, "Hey man, I'm grossly underpaid." He's like, "Okay, well I'll pay you, but you're going to sign a contract extension." And MJF was like, "No. You don't get it. I'm underpaid for what I offer right now, and you need me more than I need you, and I'm going to stay home until you realize that."
And their ratings went pew. Actually, it kind of went like this. It slowly went like this, and then it went pew, and they paid him, and it went whoop, and was fine again.
Tony's smart. Like, we will continue to see MJF, but it's going to be bad.
Here's the thing.
It's going to be bad if not.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's really not going to be Tony's decision. It's going to be MJF's decision, because does he want to go to WWE for maybe a lesser contract with unlimited earning potential?
Or does he
you're going to give him one of those Jim Ross contracts?
I mean,
or does he want to stave off, does he not want to be the cauterization or the stuffing of the gauze to stop the bleeding, because that's what he is right now.
All I'm saying is 2 of his friends have gone up the road, and they
American
are both
Coaster,
being presented as mega fucking stars right now.
like the American Coaster.
Yeah. And Jade Cargill.
And Jade, right? Right. I forgot about Jade.
She hadn't still to this day. We're like 8 weeks into this. She still hasn't been in a ring. Hadn't even been in front of the live audience yet.
That's because they're trying to teach her how to wrestle.
We know. We've already had this conversation. I'm just saying they've done more for her in this window of time.
And she can't. MJF can wrestle. Like, that's the other thing. Is
He's
like
got that
they don't
Ric-
have
he's
to
got
teach
that Ric
him how to
Flair.
goddamn wrestle.
He's got that Ric Flair to him.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I mean, he's money. They bring him in. I mean, they're going to get 500,000 viewers just for MJF. They're just going to be, let's watch MJF.
Tom, I'm glad to see you brought back the gimmick name. It's been a while.
It was time.
It's been a while.
I'm back in a good place. So,
cheers.
Thanks, buddy. It was time.
But I don't know, man. You know, and for me, like scrolling through these Instagram comments, the variety, the majority of them are about the fact that this was the announcement that was the announcement. That's what everybody's bitching about. Oh, this is the definition of a meeting that could have been an email type thing. But nobody's paying attention to the fact that the goddamn world champion's not on this poster. And that's the problem.
I noticed immediately.
And that, my friends, is proof that MJF is WWE bound. Jeffrey Penis, what's your match of the week, pal?
So my match of the week comes from SmackDown this week. And it is Bayley versus Bianca, the returning Bianca Belair. They came out, they put on a banger. It was great. Bayley's still the GOAT. I think we're going to look back at this and we're going to see Bayley as one of the greatest wrestling performers that's ever existed.
Absolutely.
Not only just as a woman, but just overall. We're going to consider her one of the like. You want to talk about somebody that keeps eyes on the product, sells product, just is great all the time. Bianca too, unbelievable talent. I know we've seen them sort of cross paths before in tag team matches and other things like that, but to see them really kind of just go out and get some time on Friday, because there wasn't, SmackDown matches don't get a ton of time. This one got about 8 to 10 minutes, and I really think they made every second of the 8 to 10 minutes count, and it really built up for what went on at Crown Jewel after the fact. Just great stuff. I love both competitors. I love both Bayley and I love Bianca Belair. I think they're both amazing. Two of my favorite wrestlers, period, not just women, just wrestlers, period. I think they're great. And it was a great match, and it's something I would watch that feud and I would tune in for it. Like, this is something I have to watch. And it was a great match. I loved it. And I had a good time Friday night.
Fucking right, doggy. That's good cake.
Yeah, it was.
D-Bag Derek.
So, I know we had already kind of spoke about this earlier while I was rearranging my desk. So, my match of the week easily is to be Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul. I did not respect Logan Paul enough before this match. This guy went from little tweener that I'd like to punch in the face making YouTube videos to, doing some grown ass man shit and obviously putting in the work and really coming into his own.
He saved Ray's life.
He did save Ray's life.
He did save Ray's life.
Although he also subsequently put Ray's life in danger because he was fully out of position.
Well, shit happens, but he did save Ray's life and he put it in. So it balances out.
Ray also had a really bad flip off of that. Like, I mean, I was looking at it. In my opinion, it looked to me like the ropes were probably more flexible than Ray was intending or assuming.
Also, Logan saved him and like no sold it. Like he didn't like.
He just fluidly went into that. That was
like
good.
He fluidly like made a little extra stutter step forward to catch him, and it was just like it was so.
And then power slam.
Yeah, I'm
sure.
Let's talk about he was probably like, "Oh shit, I'm about to be the reason that the greatest luchador of all time dies."
Yeah, but I mean, the stuff that he was pulling off. I mean, this for being such a tall, lanky individual, he did some moves, did some things, did some flips.
Just think, he just had a boxing match like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. He got punched in the face for like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Very good match though. Definitely easily match of the week. Loved it. Whole new respect. I enjoyed it,
for that. And I'm looking forward to see what they do with the United States Championship, because in my opinion, it is the most gorgeous belt in all of pro wrestling.
So shiny.
Right now. I really didn't like it till I saw it in person at your house, and genuinely, it is awesome whenever you get to see it up close.
It's stellar. Like
it is.
I love everything about it. There's one thing I would change on it, and that's that the top where the stars are, if that was the backdrop was blue and the gold stars instead of just being all gold, it's the only thing that I would have changed.
Yeah.
However, most beautiful belt in all pro wrestling right now. Hands down, my opinion, of course, but I mean, Pretty Platinum's pretty, close second, but
actually kind of like all of them at the moment, and particularly like Rhea's title and like the world titles, Rhea's title and Seth's.
I mean, they favor the big gold. I mean,
yeah, I really like those. Right, like those right now, really to me, like particularly on TV, just kind of pop and like the light hits them right in a bunch of different ways.
My match of the week came from Blood Money also, and it was the opening bout, which was Seth freaking Rollins.
Blood Money got a lot of good matches.
It's amazing. And, but it was just another glorified house show, Derek. I mean, it's just something that we put a bunch of money and TV production behind, but, we just trotted our biggest stars out there and for no meaning matches whatsoever.
It's like an MSG show.
Hey, just real quick, just to shoot you down even further. Kevin Nash won the WWF Championship at the MSG house show.
You mean Diesel?
And AJ Styles won his first WWE Championship at the MSG house show.
All right.
So, let me just. But my match of the week was Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Man, I really hope they get the deal done with Drew. It looks like he's starting to get intertangled with the Judgment Day a little bit. Really interested to see where that's kind of going to go. He cut he had a vignette last week that was real dark and kind of little crazy talk, if you will. I'm interested to see, guys. I've been calling for a heel Drew McIntyre for some time, and I know that the argument has been made. He does a lot of goodwill with Special Olympics and this, that, and the third. And I don't know that babyface Drew is what's best for business for Drew Galloway.
And it's not exactly. It's not best for him either. I think that's the problem. Is that he's too big and mean to be a baby face, right?
Like he was a cool baby face for a long time, and then when Vince gave him, they strapped the rocket to him, right? And he was like this cool baby face, he talked some shit, and he was coming off of being the Scottish psychopath, and then he was the Scottish warrior with the sword. Like the presentation was big and overblown, and he felt important.
Yeah, I'm over
And
the
then-
sword. I really hate the sword.
Yeah, I've been over the sword for a long time.
Yeah.
That's the
Sword
thing.
sucks.
That's only got so much legs, and I think it's just time. He's such a better heel, and now that they've actually built up some baby faces to like have just a big mean bastard, fucking just get out there and be a bastard. And Drew is like is prime, like, because particularly he's like him with the Claymore is like Randy with the RKO, right? Just he can just do it out of nowhere. You know, he can kick anybody's face off, and it doesn't hurt anybody because it's just a kick. At the end of the day, it's just a
It's
kick.
the greatest accident of all time.
He could fucking kick Rhea Ripley's head off tonight, and it would generate all the heat, and Rhea'd be fine. Like it would she'd be fresh as a daisy tomorrow.
Yeah, but that wouldn't really make sense to that whole Judgment Day thing.
I agree it wouldn't. I'm just saying that like he could kick, like, you know, they could let him. He could put that move like when Stone Cold and the Stunner. Really, like they let Stone Cold stun everybody. He stunned Deborah. He stunned Sable. He stunned Stephanie multiple times. Like he could stun anybody, and it was like it got heat because it was like, oh my god, can you believe he did that? But at the same time, it was like, oh my god, can you believe he did that? And like they could do the same thing with the Claymore and with Drew. Great act, like, and it would get him. It could get him so much. Do you remember when Baron Corbin gave the end of days to Becky Lynch?
Yeah, he got death threats for that.
Death threat. He still gets death threats for it. He said that on Chris Van Vliet this week. Still gets death threats.
Listen, I loved meeting that guy in the airport. You know, that was like the coolest thing ever. I'm like, hey man, appreciate what the fuck you're doing. Don't change a goddamn thing. And just a little smile, little, you know, on his way he went.
I mean, just, you know, something like that would really like just catapult him to the stratosphere, especially if it meant something to like the storyline. Like if somebody had a valet or something like this. Drew's really like kind of the guy that like really should have claymored Miss Elizabeth back in like 1989. You know what I mean? Like that's really the like where Drew is right now. If we could like get that level of like, oh man, these two people. There's this guy who's like fucking macho, and then here's this guy who's like, you're a bitch, and I'm a big guy. And then he kicked the head off his, like, you know, his valet or whatever. That'd be fantastic. I mean, he'd be hated and he would get death threats, but man, would we get eyeballs for that.
Hell yeah. I fucking definitely be into it, man, for sure. So I hope that they get that job done, and we continue to get more great matches like we had on Saturday between him and Seth Rollins. I mean, and obviously Seth Rollins is who he is, and you know, a lot of fans on the internet were concerned about his back being pretty bad shape, because you know he was wincing in some pain and stuff in some non-selling areas in life. So I don't know if that's storyline or if that's real, but. You know, it's one of those things. So we'll see what happens, but fantastic fucking match. I really enjoyed this week's worth of wrestling. Looking forward to Dynamite this week so we can see two badass matches, probably the best two matches that AEW's advertised in some time, at least in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
So, Derek, you got anything?
At least on the same show.
Got anything you want to add? Nothing? Nothing at all?
I'm about to turn into a pumpkin. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
He is.
Yeah.
He's 10 minutes at least.
You don't notice anything different about your life as opposed to the other two in the chat. You don't see anything different with your bubble as opposed to everybody else's bubble. Like you don't.
I did see that. Yes.
You didn't notice that. Like I mean. It's only been up there for we've been live on air for an hour and 38 minutes. It's only been up there, I don't know, an hour and 22 minutes.
No,
it hasn't been that long.
I don't even know how to take that off. I don't know how to, what that
you
button is.
You don't, because remember something. Okay, I run this shit. Okay, and the next time that you want to try to hijack my production, all right.
I was happy that, you know, we had Matt Holland from the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I was excited.
Jesus Christ.
I can't deal with you.
That's huge. This is huge. Groundbreaking.
All right, check us out. Listen, if you're still here, please hit that thumbs up button. We greatly appreciate it. Even consider subscribing. And if you're watching this or you're listening to this,
Even if you're an LDS,
we need you to hit that button. Okay, Tom's right. A little bit of love here, y'all.
yeah.
Please present this to the congregation next Wednesday.
You're here every week. You watch us every week. All right, you do it on your own time. We appreciate that you show up every week and check us out. But do one of these.
Oh, Candice LeRae is going to die again. Oh, no, that's Tegan Knox. My bad.
Anywho,
Same.
we're going to get up on out of here. Check us out over at the old Twix and Instagram at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. And if you're hanging out, whenever, wherever, we appreciate you. That being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. I mean, Tom and I will. One Fall WrestleCast.
Derek will probably be here at some point, maybe.
You think?
Eventually.
You think he's going to fit us in?